Fam, what's up? What's up? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, fam. I hope you guys are having a fantastic time with your loved ones. I'm sure you guys are getting ready to open presents or already did with the kids. Give me a roll tide inside the comment box. Merry Christmas. I appreciate you guys being here this morning. Just a couple days away from the Rose Bowl. Headed out to Pasadena, still in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Coming to you on December 25th. We have a lot to be grateful for. What a fantastic year it's been today. Let's do a couple superlatives when you guys call into the show. I want you to give a Merry Christmas. I want to talk about the best moment of 2023, favorite play of 2023 or key moments from 2023, the most improved award, and your 2023 MVP. Want to get who that is on the show today. Kimberly, I see you inside the comment box. David, what's going on? Jarvis, thank you very much for being here. To everybody inside the comment box, Merry Christmas. Coming up on a beautiful Rose Bowl between Alabama taking on Michigan. When I look back and kind of reflect on this year, there's a lot of things that you could talk about, but I think that one of the things and the main themes of this team has been the resiliency, and you continue to see kind of that Link mentality being distributed week by week from this team. And you look to the transformation of this team, and that's one of the kind of the key words that we talk about is the transformation, right? From the team from the beginning of the season to this point in time, completely different season it feels like now that we're going into this bowl game. And I love the fact that you saw the offense. I wouldn't say that they've caught up with the defense completely, but my goodness, they've made a lot of ground because the defense was really consistent throughout the year. And one of the things that I talked about yesterday on a video that I posted was I feel that Kevin Steele, we need more notoriety on Kevin Steele, right? Coming in as a defensive coordinator. This is his first year. Pro Point ICU, Merry Christmas from Denver. I'm sure it's nice and crisp up in the Colorado air. Jamie, what's going on? I see you. He says best moments is the 4th and 31 and the UGA win. Yeah, absolutely. Those are certainly key moments. But Kevin Steele is a guy who came into Alabama, 67 years old. And I like the fact that he kind of stays behind, doesn't really say too much. He's not a guy that's big on social media and just gets the job done from the defensive standpoint. You've really seen this defense be the staple, the backbone, whatever you want to call it in this team. And it's crazy the transformation, like I guess, again, transformation from last year to this year. Because I think if Kevin Steele was the defensive coordinator, is this crazy? If he was the defensive coordinator these last 2 years, does Alabama have 2 more national titles? Right? Is that fair to say? I don't know. And I know Pete Golding and Lane Kiffin are landing their guys from the transfer portal, but it's one thing to get the guys, but you have to be able to develop them to the next level. And as you saw yesterday in the NFL, there's countless guys in the NFL. It's like the NFL is now built by Bama on the offense, defensive side, whatever you want to put it. But, yeah, I think Kevin Steele is a guy that I continue to like to highlight going into this playoff season because the job that he did with the defense has been great. And, of course, Alabama had a lot of components on the defensive side that have made it challenging for opposing offenses. Dallas Turner and Chris Broswell. Chris Broswell is another guy with Terrion Arnold. Those guys really improved their draft status, right, going into this next season, because I think when you came in this year, we were all waiting for Terrion Arnold and Chris Broswell. Is this going to be the year that these guys really pop off? And they did that for us, absolutely. Jarvis is saying, huge win for Tua. Man, what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys? If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, is that 2 in a row you guys lost? The Bills and now the Dolphins yesterday? 49ers and Baltimore tonight. I know I'm going to be watching that game. Coming to you from beautiful Santa Fe, New Mexico. What's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama football on YouTube on Christmas 2023. Hope you guys are having a fantastic time with your loved ones, and hope you had a good Christmas Eve. We'll take our first caller. It's at 601. Hey, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Oh, no, I can't hear you.
Yo, what's up, man? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. It's kind of loud in the background. You can't hear me?
I can't call back in.
Can you call?
I can't hear anything.
You can't hear me? Can you guys hear inside the comment box? Huh. All right, call back. Not sure what happened. All right, that was Jay out in Pensacola. We'll try to get Jay back. Try to get Jay from Pensacola. Yeah, you got the Ravens and the 49ers tonight, man. So you got, I think, are the Ravens still in first place in the AFC, right? And the 49ers are in first place, I think, in the NFC, but I know the Detroit Lions are coming up. So, man, what a game that's going to be. I think the 49ers are favored by like 3.5 or something like that. For me, when I think through best moments of this season, I think it's easy to think about the 4th and 31, right? Because you look to that game and how much was on the line at that point in the season. I really, it was kind of make or break for all of us, right? So if they lose that game, they're still going to the SEC, but we kind of would have went into that game a little bit deflated, considering you just lost to Auburn, who had then just lost to New Mexico State. So that is certainly one of the key moments. I think like a collective key moment for me, though, when I look back on the season, and I don't know, this game always stood out to me, was the game that they won against Texas A&M. And I know you're like, what? They just lost Jimbo Fisher. No, I think because there were so many people doubting Alabama at that certain time, and going to College Station, and being the fact that the previous time they were in College Station, they had lost that game to Texas A&M, and this team really hadn't played in a big game environment on the road just yet. And you see that this team goes to Texas A&M, and the thing about Texas A&M defense is they were going to make Jalen beat them through the air. And Jalen did just that, and that was when we really saw Jermaine Burton really come into his own and take over that game. So collectively, I think that moment really gave them a lot of momentum, and Alabama at that point kind of just turned the page. And as soon as they went into the SEC, this team turned into a different type of a team for sure. What's going on? I see you guys inside the comment box. Thanks again, Jarvis, for keeping everything going. What's up, Brock? Good morning. Merry Christmas. I hope you have a fantastic day with your loved ones. BT Trust, what's going on? He's saying that LSU game was a monster game for Alabama.
Merry Christmas, Kyle.
What's up, man? I appreciate you calling in. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Yes, this is Brent from Denver.
Hey, what's up, Brent? I appreciate you calling in, man, from Denver. I'm not too far away. We're about 6 hours apart. I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I hope you're having a Merry Christmas with your family. Thanks for calling in, man. Welcome to the show, and take it away.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you I appreciate you coming on today. I know you're so busy with your family, for all the Bama fans. And kind of on a different subject, I was looking at the depth chart last night as far as where everybody's sitting or graduating, and we're going to be so good next year with the experience. We're not going to lose a lot. Obviously, Kool-Aid's going. I think one of our one of our tackles, our guards, but wow, with Milroe coming back and his experience, and I'm really excited. I mean, regardless of what happens this year, we're going to go all the way, let's hope. But next year, we're really going to be really looking good. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think when you look to next year's roster, one of the things that I like about the offensive side is they pretty much return everybody outside of let's see if I can adjust that. If they return everybody outside of J.C. Latham, right? So, and a lot of these guys have a COVID.
Yeah, on the line.
So theoretically, you could lose Jermaine Burton, Jace McClellan, but in terms of the outside tackle, you lose J.C. Latham. But on the defensive side, you're going to have some spots to fulfill for sure. You have Chris Broswell exiting out. You have Dallas Turner. You lose Kool-Aid. You lose Terrion Arnold. You lose, I would think, Jalen Key. So there's a lot of.
Oh, we're losing Arnold? Because I thought he was a sophomore.
He's a redshirt sophomore. So if Terrion Arnold
wanted, my mistake.
Yeah. So
okay.
I mean, look, he could come back. I just don't think that he will. I mean, I've seen him as a first-round draft pick. So I mean, if he's draft eligible, look, these guys have a conversation.
Yes, sir, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys have a conversation with Coach Saban right after, their final bowl game or the championship game, and he gives them their final draft assessment grade. But I don't know. I think Terrion Arnold 100% goes to the NFL draft. Let me ask the comment box. Everybody in the comment box usually does a great job. All right, give me an elephant emoji inside the comment box if you think that Terrion Arnold is coming back for the 2024 season. All right, Brent, what else you got, man?
Yeah, sorry I misread that one on the red shirt, though. But that was it. I'm mostly just to call in and tell you thank you so much for all the years you've been on. I mean, I've listened to you forever. I'm out here in Denver, which is kind of far away. But if I remember right, I think I called you before, and you were telling me that you actually you had your own channel for the Buffaloes. You bought your own. There was something that you had your own company with Colorado Buffaloes at one time, a long time ago. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the thing about about my journey, I started out in New Mexico and I owned my high school football website that just covering high school sports in New Mexico, and then I had an opportunity to cover the Colorado Buffaloes. So I operated a website out of Boulder for 3 seasons, and at that time it was under Mike McIntyre, who was the head football coach, and Cheverini was the offensive coordinator, and then I got kind of called up to the next level, which was the Alabama Crimson Tide. So yeah, I did operate out of Boulder, and was kind of thinking about it. It's kind of almost like sitting on a lotto ticket with Coach Prime coming in. But it's the long play is certainly better. When you cover Coach Saban. So I've been in Alabama now for it's coming up 7 years. And I mean, I've covered what 4 national title games, Citrus Bowl, and a Sugar Bowl. And this will be my first time that I covering the Rose Bowl. But yeah, I did have a business that operated out of Colorado, so that's why I can talk on the Colorado front. And I know it's challenging for any type of coach to be able to win, numerous games out in Colorado. So it is impressive to see what Coach Prime's done in terms of earning that, kind of putting
Yeah.
Colorado back on the spectrum. But when you have the Nuggets, when you have the Rockies, when you have the Broncos, I mean, there's major pro teams in the Denver area, so they're always going to kind of be a second fiddle. Plus,
Oh yeah.
I mean, in Boulder, I mean, you have the Flatirons right there. I mean, on a Saturday when it's beautiful, I mean,
Oh God.
watching a college football game or going mountain biking. I mean, that's a easy choice for me.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's great out here. We're Tide fans. Always have been. My mom's from Tuscaloosa, and that's from Colorado, obviously. And so we're CU fans, and I'm hoping my daughter gets out there, but. We're Roll Tide 100%. I just want to bring up the history and everything, because I do remember you saying that. So, but thank you again for coming on for Merry Christmas. For Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your family,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, absolutely, man. Take it easy, Brent. All right. Brent calling out
Okay,
of
bye bye.
Colorado. Appreciate the call. And we got a 601. I think that's Jay. And then we got a 201. Kyle Henderson coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I appreciate you guys joining the show this morning. David's also coming from Pagosa Springs. So the thing about Pagosa Springs, I don't know if you guys have been up there. If you guys haven't, definitely check it out. It's in southern Colorado. They have hot springs, these natural hot springs that are amazing to go and just a really great spot to vacation. I think that's where Wolf Creek is as well, a ski resort. So been up there a couple times as well. And then if you guys have checked out Durango, Colorado, Durango is really cool. And I think it's Purgatory Ski Mountain that is up there. So all those areas in southern Colorado, definitely cool to check out. I grew up skiing here in Santa Fe. They're like, what? New Mexico has mountains? Yes, the mountains here are 12,000 feet and above. My mom's house, where I'm currently at, is 7,200 feet. And Albuquerque, as you know, is a mile high, just the same as Denver. But you got some really good skiing up here, especially in Taos. I've actually never been to Taos, but I've been to southern Colorado a couple times. Okay, next up we got Jay from Pensacola. Jay, what's up, man? Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Kyle. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I hope you're having a great time with your loved ones, man. I appreciate you calling in, man. What you got for me today?
I just want to say Merry Christmas. Thank you, Kyle, for everything. First of all, I just want to say that it's an honor to have you as a great football person and a great person in general, man. You're an amazing person. I thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I
Um,
appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jay.
Best moments of 2023, I would say. A lot of people might not see where I'm going with this, but I gotta say, gotta be the Texas loss. The Texas loss gotta be a great moment because this when they found out that they found the gear that they needed to keep going, to get better. And because of the Texas loss, they grew, they got better, they progressed. So I felt that was a good thing. But another best moment of 2023, I would say, got to be. I would say the Texas A&M win because a lot of people doubted us. A lot of people didn't expect us to win, and they showed that Jalen Miro can really throw the ball and can really beat you with his arm and his legs.
Hmm.
And my favorite play got to be 007. It has to be the 007 in the Auburn game. Like that was clearly amazing. I also had to say that the Church Marshall
Mm-hmm.
takeaway from the Georgia game. That got to be one of my favorite moments too. That was. I know we've been pretty low on him, Church Marshall, about him not filling the run gaps and stuff, but he really proved himself
Mm-hmm.
in that game. Most improved award. I have a number of those. Um, I want to say Kevin Steele been. I would say Kevin Steele coming back. A lot of people doubted him. A lot of people didn't think Nick Saban knew what he was doing because of what he did in Miami. But when he came to Alabama, they like a completely different program. And Tommy Reese, I want to give him an improvement award too
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
a lot of people didn't think he was going to do what he did.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that. And I would say Jalen Milroe and Jermaine Burton because after what Jermaine Burton did last year,
Yeah.
he stepped his game up completely this season.
Mm-hmm.
And my MVP, Miss Terry.
Yeah.
She's a real MVP. 'Cause she hold Nick Saban down, and when Nick Saban chewed them out, and they missed his second, we all waiting to see that. We all waiting to see that. But Kyle, let me ask you a question. How is your Christmas going so far?
Oh, it's going great, man. Well, let me get to your points real quick, man, because you bring up a couple of points that I certainly agree with. Jermaine Burton, in terms of like a most improved award, yeah, absolutely. I mean, last year, and the thing was, we started to see his play for like a preview to his play this year in the Sugar Bowl because he certainly stood out in the Sugar Bowl. If you go back and watch last year's Sugar Bowl, he certainly stood out. And then the MVP. I mean, I was calling for a statue for Miss Terry as well, or something. And eventually, I think the University of Alabama will definitely do something for her. Just because of not only how she's been the behind Coach Saban, but also like what she's done with Nick's Kids Foundations and the Habitat for Humanity. Go check into that. Honestly, I mean, they have a whole team. It's a whole organization that has built. I think it's currently 18 homes in Tuscaloosa. And she said in her, because I just interviewed her not too long ago. We had a media opportunity, and she said they build one for every marquee win. So I think they will build another one because they won the SEC championship game, which will mean that they'll build 19, and then if they're able to win this game or the next game, 20 homes. So that's pretty significant that they've built 18 homes already, and they're not done yet. Plus they're adding the Saban Science Center. That's coming in, or it's like the educational center that's taking over where the Tuscaloosa News is. So I love that in terms of the MVP because she certainly kind of gave him that green light to get after those guys. And then I also think that the other point about Tommy Reese from the beginning of the season to this year. Same thing with Jalen Milroe, but we knew that I knew that would eventually come into play as he got more opportunities. But Tommy Reese at first, he looked stressed out, and I think it was really difficult for him to kind of metamorphose from Notre Dame to Alabama. But right now, he's done a good job, and I still think his ceiling is really high as well. Same thing with Jalen Milroe; like his story is not done yet. That's why I was doubting that he was going to go to like Indiana. That wouldn't be a good call for him. I think eventually you got to go. He's going to be a head football coach, but right now, still learn from Saban. And why would you leave when you have Jalen Milroe coming back and all these offensive components? Just didn't make sense. But in terms of my Christmas, things are going great, man. I mean, with my mom and my kids in Tuscaloosa and really enjoying just New Mexico and getting to see the family. Sometimes it can be a little bit much because you're on the road trying to like manage your job and manage your workout, but the food has been great and still, maintaining, that consistency that I want to continue to show going into the Rose Bowl. So a couple more days I'll be in Pasadena and I can't wait to cover this Rose Bowl. What else you got, Jay?
I want to say I haven't been to I feel like you said Summer Springs in Colorado. I have been to Colorado Springs, and it's very pretty up there. It's been about a year or two, but it's very pretty up there. I like Colorado Springs. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been to Colorado Springs. Actually, I went to I guess I keep saying I'm in Tuscaloosa. I'm not. I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So sorry if I said that. See, this is my setup. This is my mom's place here in Santa Fe. But I'm not. I'm in Santa Fe, not Tuscaloosa. But I'm always in Tuscaloosa. So I guess I keep saying that. Yes, I have been to Colorado Springs. Excuse me. So I went to Give me 1 second. I need to clear my throat real fast.
It's all right.
All right, my bad. I've been to Colorado Springs and check this out. So I went to Colorado Springs. I went to the Air Force Academy, not for school, but I went there for a camp. So I stayed in the Air Force Academy for 2 weeks and got to check out Air Force. It's beautiful. It's up in the mountains. Colorado Springs is really nice. I'm sure
Hmm.
that people live up there, have a really good quality of life. I know it's not far from Denver, but yeah, I've been up to Colorado Springs. Really nice place, and they have the Colorado State Rams as well. So getting to see them. I think they've been in a couple New Mexico Bowls, so whatever. It seems like I've like lived all over and done all sorts of things. I've been able to do several different things, but Colorado Springs certainly dope. What else you got, Jay?
That's all I got, guys. I just want to say, with the summary thing, I feel like he need to stay at least, like he said before, at least like 3 or 4 years, just to get up on his belt. You see how Steve Sarkisian he came and left and came back, and at that last time he came back,
Yep.
you see what kind of program he's built. He's built at Texas,
Yeah.
and all. I mean,
Mm.
next thing we got coaches everywhere in the NFL and in college football. So Tom Reed he needs to soak up all that knowledge and wisdom from Nick Saban.
Yep.
And I feel like I hope Kevin still stays as well. I know he's gonna retire soon, whatever case may be, but I hope he stays too. But appreciate you, Kyle. Appreciate
Yeah.
you taking my
Absolutely.
call. Hope you have a Merry Christmas.
You too, Jay. Appreciate it, man. Merry Christmas to you, bro. Talk to you next time, man. All right, Jay out in Pensacola, always on the road. I appreciate you guys calling in. What's up, everybody inside the comment box? I see you guys. We got Cindy. What's up, the champ? Stephen Hicks checking in. Let's see, Anitra. I think I pronounced that right. Thank you so much. I think you're a fan funder as well. To become a fan funder, Kimberly, I see you. Thank you very much for the compliment. To become a fan funder of this YouTube channel, go up to the top if you're on your phone and hit the mobile. It's like a URL, and you could become a fan funder of this YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Appreciate all the super chats as well. Cassandra, what's up? I see you inside the comment box as well. And Cassandra says, Merry Christmas, Kyle. I wish Terry on would return next season, but I know it's a long shot. Since he and Jalen are best friends, perhaps he'll return and play one more year with Jalen. Yeah, he hasn't come out and made an announcement. And I'm just saying, I mean, the season that he's had, he's completely balled out. I think he's Alabama's top corner. I think he's played a little bit better than Kool-Aid. And the thing with Kool-Aid is, I'm not taking anything away from him, but they haven't challenged Kool-Aid as much. Like, Terrion has been tested, challenged. People have gone at him time and time again because they felt that he was more the vulnerable corner. But, man, he's really taken over. Even all the stuff that he's doing on social media as well. He's became kind of like the vocal guy. And there's always one. It was the exact same thing with Najee Harris. Najee Harris came out, started his own YouTube channel, got things going, and you see that with Terran Arnold as well, right? His stuff on TikTok blowing up. Nitra, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Saying love the content. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. And the champ is saying 100K soon. Yeah, 100,000 subscribers. We're getting close. We have the ball at probably like the 20-yard line. We might need to have Will Riker come in and kick a field goal for us. It's I think we're almost like at 98,000 or something like that. So have my family here, and we're still having the show, and it's been great. So we're rolling on through. We'll take our next caller, and it is a 201. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, it's Adam calling from New Jersey, actually. We're on vacation with my family. Just want to wish you first Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you. I hope you're having a great time out in New Jersey. It's a great time of year, and I wanted to come on because I was like, it's Christmas, but we got to keep the show going. But most importantly with that, it's like, like people are like, why do you always say fam? Well, when I moved out to Tuscaloosa, I don't have any family members there other than my children. There none. So when I started talking to
Right.
people on the phone and started the show, and it blew up, those became like families. And I look forward to talking to different people with different points of view, and we've all watched this team from beginning to the end. So it's like this has been a really, really good Netflix series this year. And when whoever puts together the documentary for, kind of remember remember how they did the Bulls, the Dynasty, the Last Dance, which is, by the way, if you haven't seen that, it's amazing.
Yep.
They're gonna do one like that about Nick
Yeah.
Saban. I don't know. Diamonds are forever. That's my name. If you're out there. And so we've all seen it together, man. So I appreciate you being here, and thanks for calling in, Adam. And first of all, man, what's on your mind, man? Take it away.
Yeah, I just have one comment. So when we were first, paired up against Michigan, I was really confident because I thought we matched up extremely well. But I've done kind of a little deeper dive into Michigan, and I'm starting to get a little bit more concerned. I mean, their secondary really is top-notch. Their D-line is very tough, and their offense is really balanced. So I was just wondering, am I wrong? I still think we win, but it's going to be closer than I thought. What's your analysis of the game?
When I looked at this particular game, I mean, I've said a couple times, and I wanted to take some score predictions, going forward in the next couple days, maybe when I do get out to California. I think the biggest thing for me is I look to Alabama's defense versus Michigan's offense. And the thing for me is Alabama has, 4 All-Americans on the defensive side of the ball. Chris Broswell, Dallas Turner, Kool-Aid, and Terrion. And I think that could be super challenging for Michigan's offense. I don't think they face a defense like this. And I think if Kool-Aid comes up with a big play, and if Turner or Broswell able to get pressure on him, people don't even talk about Justin Ebogbe enough. I mean, this defensive line can get after you as well. Tim Keenan, Jaheim Otis. The defense is absolutely much better than Michigan's offense. And I think that'll really be the deciding factor in this game, along with the fact that Michigan just hasn't played the quality of competition that Alabama has. Alabama is battle tested. The offense has had to, kind of, have this metamorphosis all season long. Who wants to deal with Jalen Milroe at this point in the season, and who wants to deal with Alabama's defense? Nobody. That's why you saw Michigan when they drew. It was crazy. I was out here in Santa Fe, and I stayed at a hotel one night because I had to have stronger internet. It was signing day, and the hotel manager was from Ann Arbor, Michigan. That was crazy. So I was talking. So we were chopping it up. I was about to go get some breakfast, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm here. Staying in Santa Fe. This is where my mom is from, and then I'm about to fly out to Pasadena." And he was like, "No way." He's like, "I'm from Ann Arbor." So he was talking about how deflated the team was when they found out that they were going to play Alabama. And exactly, who wants to face Jalen Milroe, and who wants to face this Alabama defense? Nobody. And so I think but the biggest deciding factor will be Alabama's defense versus Michigan's offense. But that's kind of how I break the game down when I look to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, great analysis. And I think we still win, and hopefully go on to win the Natty. Thanks again for a great show, and Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too as well. I hope you have a great time out in New Jersey with your family, Adam, and appreciate all your support in the Super Chats this year, man. Really appreciate it. We got 256 and 904. We got Demetrius calling in. We got a 470 right here on Bama Football on YouTube. What's up, Jeff? I see you inside the comment box as well. Jeff, I haven't heard from you in a minute, man. Call in. Be nice to catch up with you. Jeff always gets it going. For us on the call-in channel. And Ricky Smith, I see you inside the comment box. Same thing with you, Cindy. Thanks for being active this morning. And JW, what's up? See you inside the comment box as well. Stephen Hicks, thank you for being a fan funder as well. Okay, we'll go to our next call, and it's a 256. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Timmy from Springfield, Missouri.
Timmy, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you joining the show, and Merry Christmas to you, man. Go ahead.
Merry Christmas, man. As we get closer to the Rose Bowl and everything and the playoffs, like the last caller I kind of agree with. I'm kind of starting to get a little worried, but I don't really care about the Alabama-Michigan game as much because I know like Alabama is going to dominate. Nick Saban is the greatest coach of all time, so you can't bet against him. Like, it's just obvious you can't bet against him. The main game I'm worried about is that Texas and Washington game. I fear Texas is the only team right now that could still beat us because they beat us earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. I just hope they don't beat us on the biggest stage when it all counts,
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look to the remaining teams, I would agree with you. I think that Texas is a buzzsaw right now, and I think that and I've said this for a couple weeks now that I think that Texas will beat Washington handedly. I'm still sticking with that. I just think that they're playing at a very high level. I think Steve Sarkisian is one of the best coaches right now in college football, and if I'm Texas, they pay him whatever he wants to. And I think that going into this game, Texas does feel that, and they still have a chip on their shoulder because people feel that since this is their first 10-win season since 2009, that they're kind of still a pretender. I think Washington is a pretender. I think Michigan is a pretty good football team, but I think Alabama is, I don't know, maybe 10 points better than them, or at least more battle tested. That's why I like Alabama so much in this matchup. But on the other side, I think it's going to be Texas and Alabama, and I think those two teams are going to meet in Houston. And I think it's going to be a hell of a game. One of the things that we don't talk enough about Texas, about their defense, and how they were able to really dominate Alabama up in the trenches. Now we know that Alabama's offense, their offensive line has grown up, so it's going to be interesting to see that matchup once again. And Texas secondary really good as well. So those teams match up well, and I think if there's a team out there that can beat Alabama, it would beat Texas. I don't think Alabama loses another game. I've said that since I don't know week 2 or week 3. Go back and watch some of my old videos. I just think that this team, because if Alabama and Texas get into the championship game, I would assume that Texas is still a favorite against Alabama, which would be pretty amazing considering the transformation that Alabama has had this year. But Alabama's still an underdog against Michigan, right? I think Jarvis, what is it, like 2.5 or something like that? David, I appreciate the comments inside the comment box, man. Kyle has the best podcast on YouTube, and Auburn to ban him is unforgivable. Ban, yeah. You know what? I wouldn't look. The Auburn setup for the media, like they put the media like back in the back left, and then you have to exit down and like walk around the berm. Whatever. I like to be able to report from the games that I can attend because I think it adds validity. Is it really easy for me to just pop up on my computer from my house and just stay in my sweatpants and report? Sure, but I think like you guys, I try to run this on a professional level, and I think that you guys deserve that. Like this is Alabama. Like the standard is to be the best. Look who the coach is. So when I talk about like consistency and performance, I get that from Coach Saban. So I try to implement that in my job, and I hope that you guys can see that when I am, online live. But I appreciate the comment. What else you got, Timmy? So I was checking this out. So Springfield, man, I love The Simpsons just as much as everybody else. Is like, do you get that a lot? Like Springfield is like that the home of The Simpsons?
Illinois. I think that's Illinois.
And so but I don't think it's ever been determined where The Simpsons are at. They just say Springfield.
That's true.
What else you got? What's your best moment from this year? Favorite play or most improved award?
The favorite play would be the 4th and 31 Gravedigger.
Yep.
That will go down in history as the greatest play of all time. Second to Tua, I believe. The greatest or my most improved player would probably be Dallas Turner. Mm-hmm. Or the defensive line and the secondary. I think that's the most improved too, because last year we were giving up 30, 40 points a game, which was wild. The good teams like LSU, I don't think Ole Miss scored as much last year, but it was Ole Miss and Tennessee and all the others. So I think the defensive line and the secondary was the most improved from last year.
You know what? One of the funniest moments I think was when we look back at the Iron Bowl. Remember how I think it was AL.com or somebody put together like a reaction of all of the Alabama like reactions after winning against Auburn, right? The 4th and 31, the Gravedigger. But my favorite moment for that was it was some guys watching the game. And it was 4th and 31, and Jalen Milroe is back to pass, and I'm sure you've seen it. But they were watching like we all are. Like you should see the internet I'm working off. I don't know. It says that I'm like on one bar, but these guys are watching the game on TV, and it's 4th and 31, and Jalen's like back to throw, and their TV freezes, and it's like the spinning wheel, right? It's just going on, and they're like, what the hell? And then it just cuts to Isaiah Bond like celebrating in the end zone, and they're going crazy. Oh my goodness! I was like the drama, the anxiety, the blood pressure. So when I think back, oh man, what were you doing?
Oh man, we just got back from me and my girlfriend got back from eating McDonald's and we were sitting there and I was watching. I'm like, man, we just lost. I'm like, dude, like it's like 4th and 31. Ain't no way we're gonna win this. Our playoff hopes are dead. And then I put my phone on the table and next thing I heard was touchdown Alabama. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So like I ran downstairs. I'm like, oh my god, I was in shock for like 24 hours. Like that was the best moment in my life as an Alabama fan. Like all the national championships, yes, but that, oh my goodness, like
yeah,
and
for me, like I've seen Alabama come back to win, so I'm never like worried if they're down by 10 or because they were trailing a lot this year by halftime, and I don't really stress about it. I'm like, okay, Alabama is certainly gonna, they're gonna come back or whatever, and like, look, my livelihood revolves around the success of Alabama football. The more games I get to cover, that's how I get by. So to be honest, I was stressing on that Auburn game at the back, and I was like, I cannot believe Alabama's made it all this way for it to come down against this Auburn team. So I same thing with you guys. I lost my cool and I was like, that's it. We're not going to the playoffs. We're going to like the Peach Bowl against Tulane or, something's going to happen. And then when they threw it, I was like, my goodness. Like I was like, I can't believe I lost faith. And the thing was, is Jalen Milroe explained it. He was like, look, that wasn't a Hail Mary. And now that we look back and we watch that play a million times, it was a design play. And Coach Saban says that they run that play, I think, if not every practice, at least, a couple times a week. So that's, example. Yeah, Gravedigger. That's what it's called, which is, just an epic run, man. What else you got as we're on the show right now?
Yeah, there's another YouTuber. His name is Matt Be Great.
Yes.
I've been watching his shows a lot. But I saw something last night about Ole Miss was getting really good, and he brought up a list, and they just got Walter Nolan from Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
They got 2 of the best edge rushers from the portal, and they have like 10 recruits or 10 transfers that are all in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, like Ole Miss is really they're probably about to get good next year. And I'm like, oh man, like luckily we ain't got to face them, but I really want to see what that Ole Miss team does next year because that team is going to be pretty freaking scary next year, I believe.
Yeah, I think when you look to what Ole Miss has been doing inside the transfer portal, this is the thing that stood out to me. He's able to get Ferrari to one of these guys or to every guys. So think about he's always trolling at the highest level. So Ferrari, really? Well, who owns a Ferrari dealership? I wouldn't, so like he's doing that. So he's like, okay, Coach Saban owns a Ferrari dealership. I'm going to give you Ferraris to come here and then pay those guys. And then he just extended his contract to, I think, around the same time when Saban's contract ends. Like he's a mastermind at staying relevant. And look, he's only the only 2 games that he lost against Georgia and Alabama, right? So still coaching at such a high level. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people, and we always talk about this on the show. There's a lot of people that would love to have him back in Tuscaloosa. I feel that he, like, aside like the trolling and all that stuff, like he's great at that. But aside from that, I think that he's outgrown Ole Miss. I think it's great that they've been able to get some money for this NIL, and he's been, changing how they've been able to do that. And I think they will be another formidable team next year. But I think that he's outgrown Ole Miss, in my opinion. So I was glad that he didn't go to Texas A&M. I think that would be crazy. I just don't think those 2 cultures mesh. But I think the long play is he would like to be the coach here in Tuscaloosa, and I think a lot of people would like to see that. Offensively, man, he is a mastermind, 100%. I mean, what he's been able to do with Jackson Dart, that was crazy.
Yeah, especially beating an LSU team that I thought LSU was going to freaking run away with it until probably about the 3rd or 4th quarter. Ole Miss just kept getting touchdown after touchdown. I'm like, dude, this game is about to come down to the wire. And then it was like 17 seconds left, and it was like a swing pass to the running back or whatever, or the wide receiver, and he just scored. I'm like, oh man, like Ole Miss is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and someone inside the comment box, let's see, is Justin saying that, Walter Nolan's not going to transform the entire team. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just that, he's adding players on the defensive side, and they certainly needed to bolster up on the defensive front. Next year, for everybody, in the SEC. It's going to be a gauntlet. The top 1 and 2 teams in the SEC. That's why Florida State. And we haven't even talked about that. Merry Christmas to you, James. I see you inside the comment box as well. Florida State, and I've been saying this for a long time. It seems like there's is there more a narcissistic program than Florida State? Like every day they're like the news is about me. It's got to be about me. Every day, right? It's like they didn't make the playoffs. Now they're trying to sue the ACC to get out. It's like I've been saying that they need to get out of the ACC for a long time, and then their estimated cost to get out of the ACC was what, $567 million or something like that, $100 billion. It would help them, but where is FSU if they're in the SEC this year? Are they better than Ole Miss? I don't know. Maybe with Jordan Travis, but I don't know. We've talked a lot about Florida State. I just think they need to get out of the ACC. Who will take them? Maybe the Big Ten. Who knows? I don't know if they really want to be in the SEC. I don't know how relevant they would be in the SEC. But anything else, Timmy, before I move to my next caller?
No, sir. No, sir.
All right, man. I appreciate you calling in. Hope you have a Merry Christmas. I enjoyed catching up with you, so definitely call in throughout this week, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Merry Christmas, man.
All right,
Hope you have a good one.
Yep, you too, man. All right, Timmy calling in from Springfield. Springfield, home of the Simpsons. 904 Demetrius 470-334-251 coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, or if you're continued subscriber, I really appreciate you guys. I hope you're having a Merry Christmas with your loved ones. I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico, en route to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl. And, the live show will continue this week. And I want to say this as well. Thank you very much for supporting Ty and Coach Sean. Same with Jarek and Coach Jarek and Coach Smook. But we had I'm running kind of some tests to see different personalities on the channel and how people do with their lives. Ty's great. He's an up-and-coming star. And Coach Sean kills it. So I like to get those two added. I'm thinking about putting Coach Jarek and Coach Smook together for a show. So I think long-term, different type of programming will be good to add to the channel. So I appreciate you guys supporting them. Those guys kill it for sure. They do a really great job. We got our next caller, which is a 904. Let's do it. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Edward, from Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, I've been thinking about this game. I've been watching the line. The line's not moving. It's like 1.5 points, And other than really early on, it was always there. I don't quite understand that. But when I evaluate an opponent for Alabama, the first thing I look at is their quarterback, and does the quarterback really scare me? Is he really mobile and accurate?
Sure.
Because those are the quarterbacks that really hurt Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's supposedly pretty good. I've watched him. To me, seems like a game manager who's doesn't make mistakes. That kind of a guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Historically, those are the kind of guys that we can deal with quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking about historically here, but so I'm not too concerned about that. And then Michigan, they see themselves as a really physical football team. But let me ask you, like our guards right now, would you trade our offensive guards for any in the country right now?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the growth of Jaden Roberts. How did Alabama have Superman on the sidelines? My goodness, what he was throwing around.
I don't know. The guy is like the Hulk,
right? Yeah, and that's a better term for it, is the Hulk, because he was sitting on the sidelines at the beginning of the season. So I don't know what happened. We weren't even really talking about him. Who we were talking about during the fall was TJ Ferguson. Right. And everyone was, and even Coach Saban was like, I considered TJ as a starter. So we were like, okay, so it's going to be TJ, and then it's going to be Tyler Booker as your guards. I like that. And then here comes Jaden Roberts, and you're like, my God, where has he been? And he starts throwing around people. Yeah. So you're right. Tyler Booker
he throws them around.
Yes.
He throws them around, man. He mauled, I don't know who was opposite in the Georgia game. But that dude, there were a couple of plays where he just planted that guy, it was like brutal, and I just, and then, aside from center, we obviously have the problem with the snaps. The two tackles, you got a first round draft pick on the right side, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank, but our freshman on the left side,
Caden Proctor.
his whole deal was experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. His whole deal was experience. He's a sophomore now.
Mm-hmm.
I think a couple of them came in a little bit heavy too.
Mm-hmm.
And then they weren't really playing well together, but it was experience. So, I mean, I'm not going to trade this offensive line for any offensive line. And they degrade our receivers, but our receivers are pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
So as I look at this, you got to have, as an Alabama fan, sometimes you make the mistake of just sort of expecting to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we're like 8-1 against the Big Ten,
Mm-hmm.
and the average is like 37-14 is the average score.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what's changed? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
our from a talent standpoint, we're like number one as far as recruiting for the last, for what's on the roster right now, based on what I saw. And Michigan's like 14th. So the relative talent hasn't changed. What Michigan is, a really well coached team, and they're they're not prone to mistakes. And I do worry about us making mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I think what's happened in the past should happen this time. I don't see why it wouldn't. The talent deficit is still there. It's still Big Ten versus SEC. They've never, other than Ohio State 2015 was, or 14, they've really never played a competitive game against us. And to me, this is just a prototypical Big Ten team that we're playing. I have a lot of confidence in our defense, and I just don't. What do you think? I mean, really, honestly, am I crazy? Because I mean, I'm looking at 6.5 points.
Yeah.
They got us a 1.5 point dog. 6.5 point, but pays like 3-1.
Sure.
And to me, that's just anyway.
Yeah, same with me too. What's up, Mike? We do have a Michigan fan inside the comment box. Mike Fort, he's been joining us. I see you inside the comment box, man. Hope you're having a Merry Christmas as well. When I looked at this game, and when I look, like, same with you, I looked at the teams that have beat Alabama in the past, right? So you look at let's just take the last 3 teams that have beaten Alabama head to head. What did they all have in common? They had a quarterback that could certainly beat you over the top, and they had wide receivers that were absolutely dangerous. So you have Texas, right, and then you had Tennessee, and then you had LSU, right? All of those teams had something in common, and that was a quarterback who could sling the ball around. Since that time, Alabama's secondary has grown up, and they've been able to make adjustments on the fly, which have been really beneficial. Like the adjustments that Alabama made against Georgia in the SEC championship, it didn't come in the second half. It came like within the third drive, because I thought that little bootleg was going to kill Alabama all night long when they were going to Brock Bowers, and they completely shut that down. So when I looked at J.J. McCarthy, and granted, if you watch his film and you watch some of his games, he's been pretty consistent for the most part, and he can thread the needle, and I think he has kind of a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to prove that he can play at this level. I just don't think that he's seen a defense like this, and specifically a defense that can get after the quarterback like Dallas and Chris. Like, we talk about the guards, talk about the guys on the edge rusher. I mean, my goodness, those guys have been just probably the tops in the country. I mean, and I said that in the beginning of the show, that I think that will be the difference of the game. Then you look to the fact that they're a team that is big, is physical, that likes to run the football, likes to control the time of possession, and you have Blake Corum as their running back. I like Blake Corum. Who wouldn't? That guy is built for a running back in between the tackles, but Alabama's defense, once again, is a team that is built to stop the run. And don't point to that Auburn game, because Hugh Freeze does different things with different misdirections. That's just a tough team to prepare for all the time. But like Georgia, they tried to get to the outside. They tried to go up the middle. Alabama was able to stop them, specifically on 3rd and short, which I think was another key element to Alabama winning the SEC championship. I think it is a typical Big Ten team, big, physical, and the thing about it as well is they're not battle tested. They played Ohio State and Penn State. I don't really count Iowa as a game that, for much credence. I don't really like their schedule. Their front end was super light. They are healthy. Jim Harbaugh, Look, I liked him when he was with the 49ers. He is a good football coach, clearly. And I just saw that Michigan's thinking about giving him a deal for $125 million with a clause in there that he doesn't chase an NFL job. It seems that, that's always kind of been the case because he came from the NFL and he's coached all around, whatever the case is. But I do think he is a good football coach. Same with John Harbaugh, who my 49ers are playing tonight. So it's going to be that's another game I'm watching. But anything else, Edward, when we look to this game?
I just wanted to emphasize what you said about the running game. I mean, like I can think of one time when a team was able to run on us, and that would be Ohio State with Zeke Elliott that year, and they were killing us in the air. But I don't, really for the most part, like 99% of the time, if you go into a game against Bama and your strategy is you're going to run on us between the tackles, I mean, you've already lost the game.
I 100%
That
agree.
is not going to work.
100% agree. I think to beat Alabama, you have to be able to go up tempo. You have to have a quarterback that can beat you over the top and a mobile quarterback as well. So a team that has those elements is scary to play, but a team that tries to run up the middle and tries to control time of possession, they're not going to beat you. So I agree with you in that capacity. And I think the teams that can beat, like Texas, that's a scary team. They have different elements. They're a balanced team. They have a really good quarterback. They have good running backs. They have good wide receivers on the outside, elite wide receivers on the outside. So I think that those matchups, and they have the offensive creative mind of Steve Sarkisian. So earlier we were talking about, Texas being, kind of a buzzsaw, and I agree with that. Anyways, Edward, I appreciate you calling in, man. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I'll catch up with you maybe later this week.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Take it easy. Let's get to Demetrius coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys calling in this morning on Christmas. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you are able to spend time with your family today or yesterday or tomorrow, and I hope you have a happy new year going into this Rose Bowl matchup between Alabama and Michigan. On the other side of the Sugar Bowl, you have Washington taking on Texas. Can't wait for those matchups to take place, and a couple other bowl games that are sprinkled in, throughout these next couple days. And you also got a really good NFL game tonight with Alabama taking on, Alabama, with the 49ers taking on the Baltimore Ravens. With that said, we welcome in Demetrius to the show. Hey, Demetrius, thanks for being patient, man. Merry Christmas to you, and take it away, man. Welcome on in.
Merry Christmas, Kyle. Out here in the backyard, got the smoker going. Smoking some deer meat and some rabbit I had, killed this year. Merry Christmas. And I remember the first time I called into your show. It was during, I believe you had done a morning show one time here some years ago during COVID, and I was in Birmingham, Alabama, making a delivery. And it's been a long time listening to you, and boy, what a season we done had.
Yeah.
What a program that we follow. And I'm proud of them young men, and I've sitting here seeing what you got going on here. And the most improved, it got to be Caden Proctor. That young man got it worse than. I mean, boy, he had pulled Jalen Miro. He had him in some rough predicaments. Oof. Every offense scheme, that was their scheme to beat Jaden Proctor. That was the key to the game. And he, from game one to now, hey, you could tell he might be an Outland Trophy winner here next couple of years. I could very well see that. Another Cam Robinson. And the most important time of the year this year is the Texas loss, because it seemed to reawaken something in Coach Saban that ain't the whole college football seemed to forgot on why he's the best coach. Because I keep telling people this: ain't nobody gonna out scheme him. Ain't nobody gonna get their players prepared better than Coach Saban. And it's an honor just to see. A lot of people just don't realize what they're seeing right before their eyes. I listened to all the other commentary before on the phone, and the algorithm always go to other Alabama talking sites on YouTube, and they talking about Texas, Oklahoma come to the league, and other teams they should be worried. It's not the point of them coming to the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
It's the point of you go jaloping in against Arkansas, you're gonna take a loss.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get beat up. Yeah, you got more talent than them. You go up against some of these teams,
Mm-hmm.
you're just gonna take a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And it's point blank simple.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, I'm just excited. I can't wait till this Michigan game. I can't stand Jim Harbaugh. Maybe personally, if I knew him, but
Well,
the
hold on,
disrespect
Demetrius. I agree with some of your points, man. But I want to know more about this smoker you got going, man. So what do you got going on the smoker? What kind of smoker is it? Kind of give us the scene setup, if you will.
Oh, it said up. I put it together yesterday. My sweet dear girlfriend, she got it for me for Black Friday sale. I'm out here tinkering with it. And I had my uncle come over here. He's the guru, and I want to make sure I done it right. And she got it from Lowe's,
Uh-huh.
and she even took on some of my traits. She found it on the discount. In the discount, it had a little damage. You know, I'm a discount looking and coupon clearance is my best friend.
Hell yeah.
Hey, yes, sir. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people done covered all the points I even thought about covering. But this this Michigan game, it's gonna be interesting. They ain't no slaps, they ain't no pushovers, but
well, hold on, Demetrius.
in years past,
Demetrius, hold on. Because Cindy brings up, she's like, yeah, I agree, Kyle, that deer meat sounds good. So I have to tell you guys. So in New Mexico, so in Alabama, one thing that I found is that the jerky is a little bit thicker and a little bit more moist. And, you know, in Alabama, everybody hunts. So, like, all my buddies, they hunt, and it's awesome. And a lot of people do. They love to hunt, like, wild turkey, right? But in New Mexico, what I'm accustomed to is our jerky, because we definitely have elk and we have deer out here as well. But the jerky, the way it's done is it is so thin that you can literally, like, just break it like a saltine cracker. Like, and it's super thin. So if you touch like a saltine cracker, like, it's even thinner than that. So that's kind of jerky that I'm accustomed to. So in my truck here, in my mom's house, I'm like loading up on as many like thin cut jerkies as I can. And all the gas stations here as well have that style of jerky. But maybe I need to get like a dehydrator to be able to do this for myself. But anyways, the jerky hits different. And what they call, yes, JW is saying this is exactly right. So in New Mexico, they call elk jerky black gold. I'm serious. If you have a friend who's killed an elk and you get some jerky from them, it is black gold. Honestly, it is just phenomenal. But anyways, Demetrius, give me your favorite play from this 2023 season, man.
Oh, of course like the majority of us, the 4th and 31. I mean, do you know how many phone calls and messages I was getting because of that? I mean, yeah, it was ha 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 ha. You know, I had done mosey out here to Outback to my little man cave, and I had my bottle of little rum with me, and I'm like, man, I can't believe this. And lo and behold, I heard my girl and the kids screaming, ah! I ran back in there. Lo and behold, one of the ones who only person that probably got talked about worse this. Jesus is the only person that got talked about. Jalen Miro worse than anybody in whole college football. And that was, you know, that stood out to me. And after that, it got to be the reaction to the them Georgia fans, you know, they wouldn't even let me in. Like, I went down there to make a delivery, they wouldn't even let me in the gate. They wouldn't even let me. So I'm gonna let you go, Kyle. Have a Merry Christmas,
all right, man.
Kyle, and the Alabama Nation. Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas, Demetrius. All right, Demetrius calling in, one of our good callers as well. We got a 470. We'll just jump right into it. All right. Good morning and Merry Christmas. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle? It's Chance.
What's up, Chance? Good morning, man.
Merry Christmas,
Yeah,
brother.
Merry Christmas to you, man. You having a good time? Do you guys open presents for the kids on Christmas morning or on Christmas Eve?
We do Christmas morning. I mean, it's never been like a ritual that we would do at Christmas Eve. I mean, the kids are pretty good. I'm blessed in that way where my kids are pretty good. They're not gonna sweat you too much. You know, they'll look around and see if they can figure out what it is, but that's about it.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, George. I see you inside the comment box, man. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, so my kids, Kaden is 14 and Lacey is 10. So what we're going to do is
you got beautiful kids, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Really blessed. They're real driving force in my life, just like kids are. But we're gonna have breakfast here after my show, and we're gonna do the presents as well on Christmas morning. So, but with that said, man, there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot to be thankful for, most importantly. But anyways, man, welcome to the show. What's on your mind, man? Take it away.
Yeah, so Merry Christmas. We got that out the way. My favorite, I mean, of course I could say the Auburn game and the 4th and 31, but I feel like that's just a given. It's awesome. But I think my favorite's beating Georgia. I mean, the crap I've had to hear for 2 years is just all I can stand. So it was just amazing to go up to just beat the brakes off of them. I love that so much. So that's my favorite. Because nobody all Georgia fans, Locked On Bulldogs, all kinds of people were laughing at the fact that that we would beat them. Like, they were just like, ha, 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 yeah, right, whatever. And we manhandled them. And I think the offensive line has done just amazing. Like, your last couple of callers have brought that up. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they were just throwing guys out the club. On the, it was just awesome. They are the most improved, because without the offense, if the offensive line can't play great, you can't do nothing. You can't run the ball. Quarterback ain't got time to throw the ball. It starts right there in the trenches, and we dominated. And that's my favorite out of everything as far as 2023 goes. And most improved player, I'm going to give it all to the offensive line, every one of them. I think they all deserve it. They worked hard and worked as a unit. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, I think when you look back to Alabama's win over Georgia, like, if you look throughout the entirety of the season, it didn't seem like anybody was going to be able to, like, from the outside perspective, like, nobody was going to play with this Georgia team again, right? They were going to win 3 in a row, that this was, the new dynasty, that this was the team that was going to stay on the top of the college football mountain, and that Kirby Smart was unbeatable, and everything that kind of went with his program, and Brock Bowers and this and that. And so going into that game, and I was there, I saw the Georgia crowd, and they were very confident. I don't know if they were necessarily arrogant, but I saw that the only arrogancy that I saw was in the beginning of this season when and it wasn't so much from Kirby Smart. It was just that the fact that they had felt, in my opinion, that they had completely set themselves in like another stratosphere of college football. Like, Kirby Smart was like, I didn't even remember winning. I don't really, recall winning championships at Alabama. And I get it. You got to set up your own program. But with that said, like, all the players on the first team, offense and defense from Georgia, it was like the parade was for Georgia. And I think that at that point in time, and same thing with like David Pollack and what he was able to say about, Kirby Smart being a better football coach than Nick Saban. It just added so much fuel into that game. And Alabama was able to come out. And you're right, Alabama did dominate that game. I know Georgia came back in the last bit, and that's good coaching, and good teams are going to be able to do that. But when Jalen Milroe put that final drive together and just punched it in the end zone, that says a lot. And I knew that Alabama would make the playoffs if they were able to beat the number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. How could they not?
How could they not?
Right? How could they not? And Jalen Milroe said that as well, and so did Coach Saban. Coach Saban's like, if we needed to beat the eyeball test, same thing, dude. I got kids as well. I can only imagine what just happened.
She's
it's like,
so excited. She just got a new Xbox, so she's tripping out.
Yeah. Or like, because I went to go visit my brother's kids, and he has 4 boys, 6, 4, 2, and they just had a baby, right? So I went over to his house, and they have
Wow.
Nerf guns going around, and my brother's just like, "Yep, close your eyes, man. This is it. Welcome to my house." But I get it. But yeah, that's it. They're boys, you know. But Alabama,
Right.
and Coach Saban was like, "Look, if we needed to pass the eyeball test, we did that." And Jalen Milroe said he was like, "Look, if Georgia was your number one team, then what does that make us? Because we just beat Georgia." I love that.
Right.
Anything else,
Right.
Chance? While I got you on the line.
Yeah. So I guess we need to talk about Michigan some. Um, I think that I'm confident we're going to beat them. I mean, I'm not really too concerned about that. And I'll just leave that at that. I did want to talk about Terrion Arnold for a
Yeah,
second though,
yeah,
because I feel like he can come back. I mean, he's
yep,
definitely got awesome draft stock right now, and he could
yep.
go. But I mean, if he goes, I won't be surprised. If he stays, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
But I think we're good in that department because last year they said the same thing coming into this season because we lost Brian Branch, DeMarco Helms, Jordan Battle. We
yep.
lost all them guys, and they were like, "Oh God, what are we going to do?" And then look what we done.
Mm-hmm.
And we got guys lined up. We got Christian Story. We got Devontae Smith. We got Earl Little Jr., Jake Pope. We got guys that had just soaked up all the knowledge for that secondary to just not miss a beat and to step right into it next season.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I think when you talk about Terrion Arnold, I'm kind of curious about this because it seems to be like this whole like Lank movement that they have, and obviously you've seen like the apparel that they're coming out with, and how that's been blowing up on the name, image, and likeness front. I
yeah, you
wonder.
saw what he done for the whole team,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like
why.
he gave them all their number and
Oh,
their brand, you know?
that's what I'm saying. So like, is that could
Yeah,
be a lucrative enough deal to where, like, let's say he's like a second round type guy or whatever. Like, who knows? I mean, these guys are making an incredible amount on NIL, and he is a leader of this team on the
right.
defensive side. He's as you guys have seen, he's best friends with Jalen Milroe. They have something cooking in terms of their business venture, which I love. Right, I love the business mindset. So who
Right.
knows? I mean, maybe it does make more sense for him to come back. I just think his play this year has warranted. I mean, and I'm not making this up. You guys would look at the mock drafts as well. Like he's a first round guy. So in first round money,
Right.
you can't turn for like these NIL deals and stuff. They're cool. You know, like I don't know how much money they're making or whatever. But like first round draft money, like that's another level. That's a whole different
Right.
stratosphere. So who knows? I hope he comes
Right.
back for the
Right.
sake
Right.
of Alabama's defense, but I just don't know.
I hope he does. I hope
Yeah.
he does too, because I gotta say, like with Terry on, at first, like I think it was the Texas game when we went to Texas a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, and he was just getting torched, and I was like, oh God, this guy right here, what are we gonna do? Like this, we went through growing pains with him,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes.
and
Yeah.
but he really stepped it up. He worked in the off season, and he got Malachi Moore is one I'm really going to miss because I love Malachi. In the whole
Yeah.
secondary, he's just a Swiss Army knife. He's my favorite, so I'm really going to miss him. I miss all them guys. I love them all, but I mean, Malachi is going to be sorely missed. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to touch on that because I heard that brought up a minute ago about Terry on going to the NFL. If he goes, that's fine. I got nothing but love for him, and I wish him the best of luck. But I do wish he would stay for one more year. But if he doesn't, it's okay.
Yeah, 100%. Well, appreciate you calling in, Chance, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas and enjoy those kids, man. And we'll catch up with you next time, man.
Absolutely, brother. Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll Tide team, man. Take it easy. All right, that's a Chance out in Georgia. Yeah, I just saw. So from the Lank perspective, what they've been able to do, Milroe and Terrion Arnold, they're actually going to have a Lank store. If you're going out to Pasadena, I think they just tweeted this out as well, so you can find it. I think on one of the Twitter accounts I saw is either Terrion's or Alabama's or the NIL collective deal, but they're going to have a Lank store. So if you want to like go and support those players, they're going to have a store. I think like the 31st, or maybe it's the 30th, the 31st, and the 1st in Pasadena. So you guys definitely go and support your favorite players for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I appreciate you supporting this YouTube channel and being a member of this YouTube channel. How to become a fan funder, hit the hyperlink at the top of the screen. We appreciate the super chats as well, and thumbs up goes a long way. So thank you very much. We're inching closer to 100,000 subscribers. If I didn't get you in today, I will be on throughout this entire week, or when I can. I am flying out to Pasadena on Wednesday, so I'm gonna catch up with the coaches to see if they can cover for me on this Wednesday. But I'm headed out to Pasadena. We're just a couple days out from the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas with your loved ones. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much for all your continued support, and I will catch up with you guys next time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Merry Christmas.